Okay, so today I'm going to tell you how to replace the light system inside your Toa Jaller Bionicle store display. Um, that way it will hopefully light up like that again. Getting to this sword can be pretty hard to do, and if you don't know how, it might take you a while. It took me a while, and you definitely don't want to make any mistakes, because if you do, it's going to be it's not going to be fun, because these are rare and relatively expensive. So getting another one of these is going to be pretty hard. So I'm going to show you how to replace the lights inside the sword. Okay, so what you're going to need is you're going to need a screwdriver like this one. It's got four prongs, so like four sides poking out here, and it's 3mm. I'm not exactly sure what this is called, but you need one of these, and then you need an LR40. You need 3 LR41 C-cell batteries. Those are the basic batteries that you use to replace the sword battery. So of any Toa Ignite. So you're gonna need that when replacing the batteries on your Toa Ignite store display. Okay, so I already have my batteries replaced, but I'm going to show you step by step how to get this replaced. So first, what you want to do is you want to unscrew these screws off the bottom here. You've got one screw there, another screw here that you're going to want to unscrew, and then if we flip this over, there is these two screws down here that you're going to want to unscrew. Do not unscrew these two screws, because you don't need to. And for the top, don't unscrew these screws on the top, because you don't need to have the top open. If you ever did want to open up the top, though, just keep in mind that it's going to be the same process I'm about to go through for the bottom, except you're going to have these wires, this like little connector up here for the wires, and you're just going to have to hook that on every time you're going to, every time you take it off, you just disconnect the little white part there, and every time you want to put it back on, you're going to have to connect that. But, yeah. Okay, so once you have taken the screws off on your display here on the bottom part, just make sure that you put them off to the side, like in an area that you'll remember, and just all you're going to do is kind of pop this off. Don't worry about the feet, because they are not connected to this bottom piece right here. So you're just going to want to grab this and pop this off. I would recommend to be careful. I'm going to do this off camera because I don't want to damage my model, but yeah. Okay, so once you have taken off the bottom piece of your display, you're going to see this little paper piece, but mainly just put that off to the side. And what you're going to want to do is you're only going to get down in here, and you're going to see this, so you're going to see the sword up here, and you're going to probably wonder how to get to that, because it is a really hard angle to get to unscrew on the sword. And what I did to help get to the sword is you're going to want to move this sword outside of, if you can see here, this orange piece. As you know, like with a normal Bionicle hand, there's that little piece right there, like the four cross piece or whatever, the axle bar. Yeah. And you're just going to want to slide it out of the axle slot that it's in. That way you can reach the screws. So just be really careful when doing that, because you don't want to break anything, because these models are really expensive. And it's probably going to be glued in there, so you're going to have to kind of wiggle it out and make sure that you get it out as carefully as you can when taking that out. I was able to get it out after like a minute, so you just kind of slowly get it out. But once you get it out for your first time, it'll be easy every other time that you're trying to replace this. So that's usually good. Just make sure that you're being safe, because these plastic pieces are pretty old and they will crack easy, so just be safe about that. Okay, so once you have taken the sword out here, as you can see, it's not attached. Just be careful about these wires here. Just make sure you don't move it too much to that they get like disconnected or broken. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to grab this here. See, and you're going to want to flip it to this side where the screws are. And you're going to want one hand holding this while the other hand unscrews. I'm not really sure how I can film this too well. But you're just going to want to unscrew it like how you would with any other Ichnica sword. Just while your hands are in here. Just make sure that if you have big hands that you're not destroying the model when you're trying to unscrew it, because it's going to be really hard to unscrew it. Make sure you have good lighting when trying to unscrew it, because you do not want to be feeling around in here, because this is very fragile. So yeah, once you have it unscrewed and you take this piece off, you're just going to grab the batteries that you have and replace them and put them in there. If there is corrosion, I would recommend to try and scrape off as carefully as you can any corrosion that's in there, and make sure you get the batteries out. You're probably going to have to use your hands, so make sure you wash your hands afterward. But yeah, if it's like super corroded and it's still not working after you replace the batteries, you might have to look at how to clean the corrosion. But the main thing is just like, the main thing that I'm trying to study in this video is just like how to have access to this sword. And this is how you get that access. But yeah, you just replace the batteries here, and then you're just going to re-screw back on the plate. Alright, now that you have the sword all together again, and just remember that you're going to have to place it back inside the axle hand, and you have the batteries replaced. Now what I want you to try and do is just press this button and see if it turns on, which it does. I know sometimes when I press this button it will not turn on instantly, and you might need to press it a couple times to see if it works. I'd say after pressing it, and remember when you're pressing it, just press and hold down to see if it works. It looks like a bit more of a faster press might get it to work better, as long as you're holding down for a while. But as you can see, sometimes it does not work, and so I'm not really sure how to fix that problem. It could just be that I don't have that connected all the way, but it will still work. The batteries are replaced. It will not corrode everywhere once you have that replaced. But yeah, it might take a few tries. I'd say give it like at most 20 tries. If it's still not working after 20 tries, don't try it again. It's probably not working, which will be really sad. But I mean, if you can still get that cleaned, and as long as you just get the batteries out, that's always a good thing. But yeah, that's basically how you do it and clean it. All you have to do now is just slide this piece back on, then screw back in the screws, and now you should be all good to go. So yeah, that's how you replace the batteries on it. And I mean, just there you go again. But yeah, this is really cool to have, and just replacing these batteries can be a bit of a hard time, so just making this video to make sure that it will be easier for anyone else who wants to replace the batteries on their Toa Jaller stir display. Alright. Okay, so if your light for your model's still not working after doing 20 button presses, it could be one of two things. It could be that your thing is corroded, which would be pretty bad, but I mean, you're just gonna have to clean that out, because replacing the sword is gonna be extremely hard to do. Or it's that the top up here, this little thing is it's not plugged in all the way. And so I'm going to show you how to plug that in if it is still not working. So let me do that. Okay, so you know these screws here that we had, that I told you not to use earlier. If it's still not working and you need this, and you want to check the top method, you're just going to unscrew these screws here, okay? Okay, just remember to put your screws in a good position where you can find them, and then grab your guy here. And then you're just going to take this off. As you can see, I've got a little bit of a crack there. Nothing bad. But yeah, we're just going to pop off the lid here. And what you want to look at is this here, and to get this plugged in. So let me show you how to do that. So what you want to do is you want to grab this. I know this is pretty hard to see here. So what you want to do is grab this piece. So if it's unplugged, hold on, let me focus on it. So if it's unplugged, you got these two little things there, and what you want to do is you want to find on the top here, you're going to find this piece, and you want the side with the bumps pointed down when you plug it in. And you're just going to want to plug it in like normal. Just be a bit cautious, because when you do get it plugged in, you're going to have it like pretty low to the thing, because it won't allow you to move it too much, because it is, or at least mine is zip tied. If not, you should probably get it zip tied, but you know, and then it should be good, and you can just plug it in and then press the button and it should work. Okay, so as you can see here, I've reconnected it, and I'm just going to plop that down. All right, and then I want to do the button press, and there we go. And remember, if it's still not working by this point, even afterward, I would recommend that you see about trying to clean corrosion on the sword. I'm not sure how to do that, but I know there is probably a way that you can clean the corrosion off the sword. Yeah, and then when it's not turning on, you just wait a few seconds before pressing again. All right. So yeah, just clarifying that if it's still not working after you've replaced the batteries.